Right, we're going back to more familiar territory for Paul Verhoeven next, Scott, which is both A, science fiction, and B, good films.
Yes. Yes, Starship Troopers. It would be somewhere over 20 years ago when I first lost my heart to Starship Trooper, crashing light in hyperspace, fighting for the Federation, hand in hand we'll conquer space. And we did speak about that love a couple of years back or so in our sci-fascism episode, so again, I'll try and keep this recovering of old ground to minimum. But Verhoeven here adapts and also completely subverts Robert Heinlein's novel of the same name, just as his casting subverts the meaning of the age of high school students. Casper, definitely not 18 Van Dien, plays our protagonist here, one Johnny Rico, a jock from a wealthy family who defies their will and signs up for military service. This is the only way to become a citizen with voting rights in this futuristic junta. While not having much to offer intellectually, he's assigned to mobile infantry, while his classmates, such as his girlfriend, Denise Richards' Carmen Ibanez, heads off to pilot school. Neil Patrick Harris's slightly psychic Carl Jenkins heads off to military intelligence, and before long, Dina Meyer's besotted Dizzy Flores joins Johnny in the infantry as another leg to a love quadrangle. At least once, Carmen is assigned to train alongside Patrick Muldoon's Xander Haircut 100 Barraclough. The soap opera stuff takes a bit of a backseat once war kicks off in earnest, as a race of arachnids, or bugs, get all shirty when humans start encroaching on their space and commence hurling asteroids at us, including one that devastates Buenos Aires, killing Johnny's family, and giving him the necessary motivation to get through boot camp after almost going home when a hilarious and fatal accident occurs on his watch on a training exercise.
Medic!
The rest of it, you probably already have the gist of. Lots and lots of shooting of bugs, a mix of some early-ish CG that more or less holds up, well, better than a lot of the year, I'd argue, mainly because there's enough practical effects and delightful models mixed in to keep the disbelief a little suspended, which alongside some impeccable production design makes this a delight to revisit. Press X if you want to know more. Now, famously, this has had something of a frosty reception back on release, but it has been reappraised over the years, and unlike Showgirls, actually is worthy of it. We'll get to that, but most of these reappraisals don't tend to place a lot of focus on how much fun Starship Troopers is, and they really should. It's a riot, with a great blend of over-the-top humour and action that's way more satisfying than any superhero film. Said reappraisals are more about pointing out, apparently to the terminally stupid, that this is not, in fact, glorifying a fascist state and its lust for violence, but satirising this. I have long been unable to fathom how the former view ever came about, as this is very much a film where its irony is clearly visible from space with the naked eye. Of course, a director who grew up in a country occupied by a fascist regime did not make a pro-fascist film. You dummies. For a movie that is, I've perhaps spoken about this a few times before, on the face of it, pretty stupid, it's got a lot to say for itself, mostly in ways that have become more obviously relevant over the past few years, sadly. The continuing march of the military-industrial complex, the continual need for an enemy to justify that, the media manipulation that vilifies the enemy and others them, as well as all the other signposts on the way to a fascist state, and that applies just as well inside the USA that it's referencing, as seen with the militarised police response to the BLM demonstrations and the like. So it is a deeply depressing film to put any kind of thought into, but a wildly entertaining one on the surface of things, and what could not be more highly recommended than that. Yes, it's really good. It's still really good. It's just a really entertaining romp that actually, again, with most of Verhoeven's best works in the science fiction genre, has a bit of meat on its bones to actually discuss and think about after the adrenaline's faded from the shooty bangs of it all. Yeah, another really good outing for him.
I am, as I said when we last spoke about this, and as you said, Scott, sci-fascism episode a few years ago, I am still very much tempted to call bullshit on the whole, this is a completely misunderstood film. There was a whole lot of think pieces around it was like misunderstood, and I still don't really buy that. However, my opinion of the rest of my fellow humans continues to diminish day by day.
Yes.
And I know that people completely misunderstand things like Full Metal Jacket and Fight Club. And take entirely the opposite message from them. So doing it for this film is not out with the bounds of possibility, though. I still, as I say, have my doubts that was ever actually the case. Silly, because I don't live under a rock and I'm not some sort of brain-dead simpleton, always got it.
Yes.
you, Craig, and I would have seen this together when it came out and released. We liked it from the beginning and understood it from the beginning. Because again, not idiots.
Look, there's a lot of things you can say about Verhoeven work, but generally, subtlety is not one of them. This seems pretty obvious from the get-go what this was about.
It's why I've never bought the whole... I've never bought the whole... It was like the most understood, one of the just most misunderstood films of anything. Like, get bent. You think some sort of clever think piece to write. I was like, no. It's like only the dumbest people. But again, as I say, my opinion of the rest of humanity is not improving. Alas.
I think what actually might have happened is it was just one of the most obviously reviewed from a trailer films that has happened, and so people just got the wrong end of the stick that way. And I'm probably willing to bet that's probably what happened. Most people that reviewed it just didn't watch it because that's
it's the Daily Mail effect.
Yes.
Yes, it's the Daily Mail effect indeed. It is a really entertaining film. I didn't actually rewatch that for this episode because I didn't need to.
No, it's already pretty much tattooed on our brains by this point, isn't it?
Yes, and I think that episode we referenced may have only been within the last 2 years, actually. So
yeah,
I watched it quite recently, and I remember it really well. It's really entertaining. It perhaps suffers from its main cast members, its protagonist Neil Patrick Harris aside, being limited in their ability. Shall I put it? Denise Richards is... Well, she's pretty.
Look, at least she's not playing a nuclear physicist, so, got that going for it.
Yes. Or, interacting with a giant T-Rex played by Paul Walker. Oh, God. Oh. But, to be fair to her, she's not the worst thing I've ever seen. She's not Elizabeth Berkley in Showgirls. So there's that. There's always a silver lining. But yeah, it's Casper Van Dien. Again, he's pretty and looks good in uniform. I guess that's why he was cast.
Yeah.
There may be slightly more deliberation or deliberateness in his casting than some others, actually. He's kind of like the poster boy soldier.
Yeah.
I don't think he's particularly expected by the director to be a great actor, but still, I kind of wish he was better. Although, at least this isn't him in, oh God, what was it, Firestorm? Was that the terrible Casper Van Dien film we watched on Amazon Prime? With the intelligent tornadoes made of fire?
I think it might have been that, yes. That wasn't ringing a bell until you mentioned the tornadoes were made of fire. Yeah, okay, yeah, it was stupid, yeah.
Yes. His career beyond perhaps Starship Troopers 3, which again misses the point of the original, but at least unlike the second one, is actually seemingly in the same universe and having anything to do with it. Beyond that, I don't think his career has gone from strength to strength. No. But beyond that, it's you've got Michael Ironside having some good support. Jake Busey's, well, never welcome, but I guess he could be worse. Weird things like one of the Golden Girls being sort of blind fascist science teacher.
Yes.
That's very strange casting. A bunch of kind of really weird stuff going on there, but yeah, it's really fun. So I swore that I would stop doing what I always do, which is keep repeating myself, and I'm doing it again. I like Starship Troopers. You should watch it.
Yes, it's a very, very good film. Again, it's rare for one director to have done so many good science fiction films, certainly in a relatively short space of time, but yes, he's Verhoeven knocked out 3 of them, so there's no debating that, really. Yes, you should watch this and the other ones what we've already done, spoken of.